It's time for the Marucci video of the day. Honor the game. It's time for the 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. And don't miss out on a chance to have your game videotaped by APN and our play-by-play sports videos. Reservations are required. And the pitch to Criswell is swung on, hammered deep to left field. He hit that ball a ton, and it's up on the berm, home run.
If you want to have a real keepsake, a memento for your games out here at the World Series, Jeff does a great job, and it's well worth it.
Don't forget to book your championship game and split the cost with your opponent and save big time. It's on the infield, and Reed Stifles got it. And the Chicago North Cubs are champions again. The 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on APN. Reserve any game today. APNvideo.com is on the air as we welcome you into Goodyear Baseball Park and the 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League World Series. It's the Ventura Dodgers against the North-South East-West connection. And we're coming to you from the winter home of the Cincinnati Reds, the Cleveland Ballpark. I'm Jeff Lauer. We'll be back with all the exciting play-by-play action in just a moment. Jeff Lowry back here from Goodyear Baseball Park. We're just moments away from the first pitch of this 50 and over Cactus Division. Adam Mall will toe the rubber here today for North, South, East, West. And for Ventura, they will send out the right-hander Rick Pozo out of Ventura, California. Ventura will be the visiting team. They come in with a record of 3 wins and no losses. They're led by their longtime manager, Brad Milner, 61 years of age. I guess he didn't want me to tell anyone that, but he's from Ventura, California. And on the other side, Chuck Person, who will lead the connection, and they're looking for their first victory. This is their third game of this 2025 tournament. As I mentioned earlier, the weather conditions, I don't think you could get any better than this. 69 degrees, there's not a cloud in the sky, there's no humidity. We had a lot of rain last week that disrupted the National Adult Baseball Tournament. They had to cancel and move a bunch of games around, but right now as the connection take the field, looking pretty good here. And you'll get a look at the starting pitcher here today, and Adam Mall. And he'll be facing Bletcher, Whitaker, and the power hitting third place hitter, John Lane. Had to do a little adjustment here on the camera. And this is our first game of the tournament, so bear with me as we try to pull all this together. Adam Mall, he's been on APN a few times in the past. Hard-throwing left-hander, the southpawer for the connection. And once again, our game time temperature is 69 degrees. And we'll have the first pitch in just a moment. APN. Well, the Ventura Dodgers getting set to come to the plate here in the top of the first inning. As I mentioned earlier, they are 3-0 in this tournament, and obviously a team that you would imagine has championship aspirations going into the first round of the playoffs, which should be at the end of the week. So the leadoff hitter comes to the plate, Chad Bletcher. He's probably one of the fastest players on this Dodgers team. And a guy that Adam Maul wants to keep off the base paths as much as possible. The game's first pitch is in there low for a ball, a breaking ball, and this game is underway. Our game time, start time, I think this is MSBL World Series history. We're 2 minutes early. A ball and no strikes as the left-hander kicks and deals, and that one swung on and fouled off at the plate. This ballpark opened up in 2009 for the Cincinnati Reds, and at the time the Cleveland Indians. A ball and a strike to the right-handed hitting leadoff hitter, and the next delivery is a fastball that catches the outer third, and it's quickly 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score, top half of the first inning, and the next delivery is a bouncing ball towards the shortstop, and it went right through the wickets. So the leadoff hitter is aboard. That'll be ruled an error. E6 for those of you scoring at home. Nobody out with a runner at first base. And when you're playing in the World Series, you'll take a base any way you possibly can, and a good start here for the Dodgers. So a runner at first, no out. Quick throw over to first. The runner is back in safely. In there for a called strike. And another toss over to first. The runner is back in. Jerry Whitaker now at the plate, left-handed hitter. Well, we'll see how Brad Milner plays this. He's got good speed at first base. Runner does not go, and the pitch is taken, a letter-high fastball, a called strike. John Lane on deck, Will Villalobos in the hole. For the Dodgers, looking to draw first blood. Runner at first, nobody out. Runner goes this time, and it's swung on, and a looping fly ball to left, and that's going to be a base hit. It gets by the outfielder. It's going to go all the way, well, close to the warning track. 1 run is in, and Whitaker has an RBI double. Dodgers lead 1-0. So a clutch hit with the runner going, and as I always say, when you put men in motion, so many times it is a distraction for the defense, whether it's the pitcher on the mound or the defensive players, because they're moving to cover a base, and that one worked to perfection. So now John Lane. First pitch is a ball. Two and nothing to the Dodgers' third place hitter. And a chance to get a second run on the board. The Dodgers come in here undefeated at 3 wins and no losses. And he missed on a fastball, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, if it wasn't a situation where there's no outs, a walk isn't the worst thing, but And he walks him on 4 straight. So the first 3 Dodgers have reached here against Adam Maul. And off to somewhat of a shaky start here as the cleanup hitter Will Villalobos checks in. 54 years young, out of Corona, California. I've driven through Corona, California many, many times. That's a beautiful area, a lot of hills. And now Villalobos with runners at first and second. Nobody out. A run is in. Dodgers lead 1-0. Here's a double play ball possibly. They're going to go and get the lead runner. So a nice job there. Fielder's choice going 6-5. And that's the first out of the inning. They get the lead runner. So first and second still occupied. As Ventura leads it 1-0 here on APN Video Sports. And the 5th place hitter is Tim Terrell. Well, Brad Milner now having a discussion at home plate. Not sure what this is about. So another RBI opportunity. The Dodgers 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position to start off things here in the first. Joe Short, who made the play at shortstop on that fielder's choice, getting the first out for the Connection defense. No balls and 1 strike to Tim Terrell. And a strike called on a borderline pitch. And it's 0-2 on the Dodgers' 5th place hitter. Kelly Powell is waiting in the wings on deck. 2-strike pitch, and that one is outside. Tim might be thinking that was going to be called a strike, but it was not, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. All sights assigned, kicks and deals. And a looping pop-up on the right side of the infield, and the first baseman's got it, and that's a big second out. So with 2 down in the inning, and I think Chuck Person, the manager of the NSCW, would be very happy to get out of this inning with just the 1-run score. Now Kelly Powell batting for the first time. 1-0 Dodgers, first and second, 2 out. And a line smash to left field, and it's off the glove of the left fielder. Coming around and scoring the second run, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. Well, a line drive that just kind of handcuffed the left fielder. So the second run scores for the Dodgers. That'll be unfortunately ruled an error, no RBI. And it's 2-0 Ventura with Brian Ballard coming up to the plate. Ballard, South Carolina native. Always loved going down to Charleston and Savannah. Of course, Savannah's in Georgia, but just love that low country area in South Carolina. It's just, there's something about it. That's low and away, ball 1. So Ventura up 2-0 here in the first inning. Trying to extend their perfect ways in this 25 Msbl World Series. Trying to go to 4 wins and no losses. Popped him up, and this is playable in the infield. The first baseman's over. He's got it, and that's that. But 2 runs come in, both unearned. And after a half an inning of play, the Dodgers lead 2-0. And we'll be back with more from beautiful Goodyear Ballpark in just a moment. All right, we go now to the home half of inning number 1. Dodgers out in front 2-0. It'll be Gas, Short, and Jose Gonzalez. California native leading things off. Chuck Person, the manager of the Connection. And they come out, they've got some pretty impressive uniforms. I would say one of the best in the MSBL World Series. As James Gass, starting left fielder, trying to get it going and at least cut into that 2-0 lead. You got a counter right here, right now. Gilbert native Joe Short, the shortstop, is on deck. That one bounces up there. 55 doing the catching here today. Kelly Powell out of Agora Hills, California. In the air. And this ball is going to be caught by the right fielder. Nice running catch for out number 1. Let's look at that one again. That's worth a replay. So 1 up and 1 down. On the mound is Rick Pozo. He's already thrown 1 game in this tournament. Went 4 1/3 innings. So 1 up and 1 down. Good start for the Dodger pitching. And the left-handed hitter takes a strike. There's a little bit of leeway on the right-handed, the left-handed batter's box, I think, in the strike zone to start things off here. And here's a fly ball to right field, another opportunity, and he's got it, and there is 2 down. So a couple of nice catches out there in right field. Couple of flyouts to right field. 2-0 Dodgers here in the bottom half of inning number 1. And the first pitch is high for ball 1 to Jose Gonzalez, who's actually getting the start at second base. In there for a strike, came back with an off-speed pitch. Rick Pozo, as I mentioned, had 4 1/3 innings in one of the 3 victories coming into this game. And talking to Brad Milner, and he just said he pitched a really nice game. Here's a ground ball down the third. It's gobbled up there, and the long throw across is in time. Outstanding inning here for the Dodgers defense and Rick Pozo. So after 1 inning of play, 2-0 Dodgers. This is APNvideo.com. I got a good face for radio, too.
I didn't say that.
That's the oldest joke in the book, right? Top half of inning number 2. I think you probably heard us joking around a little bit here. Here's a bunt on the very first pitch, but it's going to roll foul. So it's 0-1 on the leadoff hitter, Tim Sherman. Dodgers got 2 runs in the first inning, and both runs were unearned. They had 2 hits and a walk, and were able to produce 2 runs and have an early 2-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. The second inning of work for Adam Maul, the starting pitcher. Strike called. Good ball length, maybe a little on that outer edge on the right-handed hitters from our home plate umpire. It'd be interesting to see an inside pitch leeway there. That's a called third strike. So if you're the Dodgers, if you're the connection, you might want to get the bat off your shoulders in this one, because you're going to have somewhat of an expanded strike zone. And I think a lot of players don't mind as long as the umpire is consistent about it. And so far he's been pretty consistent. Ball, maybe a ball length off the plate. It's a little hard to tell from here. So with 1 out, it'll be Dwight Browning coming to the plate. Browning out of the Bronx, New York. Dodgers with a 2-run spot in the top of the second inning. And now a breaking pitch catches the inside corner. Good pitch there by Adam Maul. He might want to exploit that inside pitch against left-handed hitters, and here's a looping single to left field. So a base hit with 1 out by Dwight Browning. He's at first base with the 3rd hit of the day for the Dodgers. And he's going to be lifted for a courtesy runner. And last batted out, Tim Sherman. So 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Joe Montano will be the batter. Ball 1, fastball outside. Didn't get the call that time with a runner at first base and 1 out. Dodgers up 2-0 here in the top of the second inning. And a special thanks to both Chuck Person and Brad Milner for allowing us to be a part of your World Series experience here today on APM Video. Whitaker had an RBI double in that first inning. And then the second run scored on an error by the left fielder for the connection. Another throw over to first, and the runner is back in safely. 70 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. There's hardly any wind. The flag's in right center field, barely moving. Runner does not go, and it's swung on and lifted foul and out of play. And there's a look at Brad Milner at first base. Well, Brad and I, we go back a long ways. I mean, back in the 2000s, as that pitch is outside a ball. And the steal attempt, the throw, I think, was actually in time, but he couldn't hold on to it. And a stolen base there will put a potential 3rd run in scoring position here for the Dodgers. So now Joe Montano at the plate with an RBI opportunity with the stolen base. Right-handed hitter against the left-handed pitcher. Let's see if he tries to come in on him. Well, he stays away, and it's bunted, and that'll be strike 2. Tim Sherman is the runner at second base. He got on with a one-out hit, a looping single to left field, and stole second base. Dodgers up 2-0 here in the top of the second. Adam Maul kicks and deals a two-strike pitch. Hit hard to the shortstop. They got to play at third. And the throw is a little wild. It gets away from the third baseman, and runners will be at second and third. Well, I think what happened there was Joe Short, the shortstop, was waiting for the third baseman to get over there. And that's Piscata, who was not scheduled to play third to start the game. And now we got a quick meeting of the minds. And I think this is just kind of reset everything. You got runners at second and third, one out. You haven't given up a run, but you got to bear down in these situations if you're going to beat a Ventura Dodger team that's been coming out here probably better than 20 years. So Chuck Person will head back to the dugout. Runners are at second and third, one down here in the top of the second inning. We're about 24 minutes into this game. And Brian Slutsky is the final hitter in the lineup, the starting lineup, I should say, for Brad Milner. And he takes under the knees for ball one. That's in there for a strike. That evens the count at 1-1. Infield playing a pretty much double play depth, but in on the corners. With runners at second and third and one out, and that's a called strike, and it's 1-2 on Brian. Of course, Brian has been on APN Sports multiple times. And he takes high. 2 strikes on the, as I said, the final hitter in the starting lineup here for Brad Milner. The wind, the kick, and the pitch. And that one is low for a ball. Don't want to lose this guy here. 3-2 the count, and it is swung on, and a bouncing ball right back to the mound. He's up, he throws, he got him, and that's just a monumental out right there. So there's 2 down in the inning. Runners stay at second and third after the nice 1-3 put out. And we go back to the top of the order, and here is Chad Bletcher, who reached on an error and scored the game's first run. Well, now apparently Brian is there. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. The umpires are conferring. Brad Milner, who's coaching third base, he's the manager of the Dodgers, came down the third base line and said something to the home plate umpire. Well, if it's catcher's interference, he's going to first. The only thing I would assume is that Brian called timeout before the delivery. So he's going to get new life nonetheless. And now another 3-2 pitch coming up, and Brian takes outside, ball 4. What a change of events there. That is the second walk issued by Adam Maul. So Brian is at first base. That's a big, big play right there. They had him on a 1-3 ground out, 2 outs with second and third. Now you got 1 man out, and the bases are loaded, and one of their top hitters, leadoff hitter, Chad Bletcher, reached on an error and scored the game's first run. Infield looking for a double play ball, and this could do it. Ground ball second. They'll go short, and the runner, Slutsky, did a nice job of disrupting that throw to first. There was no throw. The run will score, and it's 3-0 Ventura. So there'll be a fielder's choice RBI for Chad. Sherman scores. Bases remain loaded. And there is 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Jerry Whitaker drove in the game's first run with a 2-base hit to left center field. Runner goes on the first pitch, and he will get there without a throw. So a stolen base. I'm not doing defensive indifference. As commissioner, I'm getting rid of that rule. If they had defensive indifference back in Ty Cobb's day, he wouldn't have stolen 900 bases or whatever he did. Lou Brock wouldn't have been the all-time leader. Whitaker with a chance maybe to break this kind of open. That looked pretty good, but it was taken low for a ball, and the bases are loaded for John Lane. Three 3-0 Dodgers. It's been a long inning for Adam Maul. He's been out there for quite some time. And a strike called, and it's 0-1 on John Lane. That was nice of John to come up and say hello. Moreno Valley native in California. That's high and away, and the count is even at 1-1 bases loaded. A run is in here in the top of the second inning, and it's 3-0 Ventura Dodgers. And that one just off the plate. I really think that is the area of the strike zone, or more specifically, out of the strike zone, that Adam Maul should be concentrating on. He's getting a ball length off the plate. High drive into deep center field. Hit a ton, and it's going to be over the head of the center fielder. 3 runs are going to come in on this one. And the Dodgers, as the throw comes in, it will be late. And John Lane with a 3-run double to straightaway center field, and it's 6-0 Dodgers. A 4-run inning. And the Dodgers lead 6-0. Now Will Villalobos, the Dodger cleanup hitter. We're still just in the top of the second inning, but we're slightly over a half hour already into the game. There is a 3-hour time limit. Changeup stays high on Villalobos. He had a base hit. So John Lane with a 3-run double. Hit number 4 for the Dodgers in this contest, and Maul delivers, and it's hit to the left side. The shortstop's there, long throw across, and safe is the call. So a 2-out single keeps it alive. Tim Terrell popped up to the first baseman back in the first inning. And he lines one foul and out of play to the right side. 0-1 on the fifth hitter in the lineup for Brad Milner's Ventura Dodgers. A 4-run second for the Dodgers, and they now lead it 6-0. Now, it is still early, and a 6-run lead in the Msbl World Series, not a very secure lead, especially with, you got to assume we'll get at least 7 innings in. Hit to the right side. The first baseman gobbles it up. He'll take it to the bag. Nice job. And that'll retire the side. But 4 big runs come across for Ventura, and they lead 6-0 as we take it to a break. Jeff Lowry back here from Goodyear Ballpark on a beautiful 71-degree day. Not a cloud in the sky, a slight breeze blowing right to left. Cleanup hitter Brian Penn will start the home half of the second, and he'll take an off-speed pitch just outside ball 1. Second inning of work for Rick Pozo, who features a fastball, slider, an inside cut, and an outside cutter. So he tries to backdoor you with that cutter and then tries to get you to chase like it's a slider, and this one is popped up on the infield. And the third baseman battling that high sky hauls it in for out number 1. Well, I think we gave you a replay of a wide shot. Sorry about that, folks. Here's Rodney Lambert, fifth place hitter. Connection looking for their first hit of the ball game against Pozo. He delivers, and it's a bouncing ball to the right side. And this should be out number 2, and it is. So nice job by Don Brooks, who gets a start here at second base for the Dodgers. And there are 2 down. Pozo has set down all 5 hitters that he has faced in this game. Dodgers lead 6-0 here on APN Video Sports. Glad you all could join us here today on a beautiful day for baseball. Wind up in the pitch from Pozo, and first pitch from Greg Goodman, who is a native here in the Valley of the Sun, a longtime MSBL player. No balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitter, versatile player. Give you good speed at the plate and can play multiple positions, if memory serves me correct. Pozo delivers high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Pozo out of Agora Hills, California. Two-1 to Greg Goodman. And the right-hander takes low, 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 out, nobody on. We're in the home half of the second inning. It's 6-0 Dodgers. He takes a strike. He was taking all the way. And now the count is full. Pozo may be a strike away from a perfect second inning. On the mound here for the Dodgers, he kicks and deals. And he struck him out swinging, and that'll retire the side. So 3 up and 3 down in the inning. And we head to the third from Goodyear Ballpark. And the Dodgers lead it 6-0. This is APMvideo.com. It's time for the Marucci video of the day. Honor the game. It's time for the 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. And don't miss out on a chance to have your game videotaped by APN and our play-by-play sports videos. Reservations are required. And the pitch to Cresswell is swung on, hammered deep to left field. He hit that ball a ton, and it's up on the berm, home run.
You want to have a real keepsake, a memento for your games out here at the World Series. Jeff does a great job, and it's well worth it.
Don't forget to book your championship game and split the cost with your opponent and save big time. It's on the infield, and Reed Stifel's got it. And the Chicago North Cubs are champions again. The 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on APN. Reserve any game today. All right, we're back here from Goodyear Ballpark in a 6-0 Ventura Dodger lead. Of course, the Dodgers are World Series bound this year after many are saying one of the greatest games in postseason history, and I've even heard people say it has to be the greatest single performance in postseason history, with Ohtani hitting 3 home runs and striking out 10 on the mound. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible as Kelly Powell digs in for the second time this morning from Goodyear. He grounds one back up the middle. That's going to find center field, and that's a base hit. So Kelly Powell with a nice, clean ground ball single up the middle. It would look like a low pitch. And that's what you do with that low pitch. It's kind of center in. You just take it right back up, ground it right back up the middle. That's an easy base hit. So Powell's aboard. He reached on an error back in the first inning. Now the Scottsdale Southpawer Adam Maul delivering to the next hitter, and it's a called strike to Brian Ballard. Ballard is 0 for 1 in the game. Dodgers got 2 in the first, 4 in the second. They lead it 6-0. We're in the top of the third. Slow-moving game. That's what happens when you have these big run-scoring games, innings, and have line shot up the middle, and that's a base hit. Well, the Dodgers just keep on. So they got another base hit here in the inning. So back-to-back singles. Tim Sherman coming to the plate. Sherman led off that 4-run second for the Dodgers with a strikeout. And the big play in that second inning when the Dodgers scored 4 was when Brian Slutsky had apparently grounded out to the mound, but I don't know if he was able to get a timeout called, as this one is hit to right. Over the head of the right fielder, and 1 run is going to score. Here comes the second run. They got the runner caught up at second base, but the run is in on an RBI double, 7-0 in favor of the Ventura Dodgers. Dwight Browning digging in, base hit his first time up. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Adam Maul has been playing in the Msbl since 1997. And a pop-up fouling out of play, and the count is now 0-2. Top of the third inning. Let's see what Browning can do with runners at second and third, and still nobody out. And he takes inside a ball. Here's the windup in the pitch. Line to center field. This is going to be playable. There's the catch. Nice job. But it will be a sacrifice fly, and it is now 8-0 Dodgers here in the top of the third. So a sacrifice fly for Browning. So he's had a single, a run scored, and an RBI. 2 runs in here in the top of the third. He's still got a runner at second and 1 out. And now Joe Montano. He's batting for the second time, and he takes a letter-high fastball for a strike. Actually, it was a breaking pitch. Low ball, 1 strike. Well, this is one of those games. Now, Ventura, or rather, the Connection come in here. No wins, 2 losses in the 50 and over Cactus. 1 ball, 2 strikes after the breaking pitch catches the outside corner. And everybody's trying to make the playoffs. But one of the key strategies at this juncture of the round robin is it's lined out into left field, a base hit. Here comes the runner around third, and they're going to hold him up right there. So a clean single for Montano. A line drive into left field. That is hit number 4 in the inning. And that is the 9th hit of the day for the Dodgers. And just as I was getting ready to say, you'd like to get a little length out of Maul here. And he is out of the ball game. So Chuck Person is going to make a pitching change, and we'll tell you about him when we come back right after this. It's time for the Marucci video of the day. Honor the game. It's time for the 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series. And don't miss out on a chance to have your game videotaped by APN and our play-by-play sports videos. Reservations are required. And the pitch to Criswell is swung on, hammered deep to left field. He hit that ball a ton, and it's up on the berm, home run.
If you want to have a real keepsake, a memento for your games out here at the World Series, Jeff does a great job, and it's well worth it.
Don't forget to book your championship game and split the cost with your opponent and save big time. It's on the infield, and Reed stifles got it. And the Chicago North Cubs are champions again. The 2025 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on APN. Reserve any game today. You're getting a look at the new pitcher here in the top of the third inning for the Connection. This is Mike Abraham. Mike is out of Apache Junction, which is on the far east part of the Valley of the Sun here in Phoenix, Arizona. And so he is going to try to shut down this Ventura Dodger team, who now leads it by a score of 8-0. They've scored twice here in the top of the third inning, and they have pounded out 9 base hits so far. Well, here's Brian batting for the second time, drew a walk and scored a run back in that 4-run second inning. And the game is roughly about, we're right around 50 minutes, maybe 49 minutes. First pitch is taken a little too high for ball 1. Jeff Lowry with you, APN Sports. Yes, it's 8-0. I think we're going to have a batter added to the bottom of the Dodger lineup. Brad Milner told me before the game, as the Dodgers reside in that third base dugout, they're the away team here today, that he's going to try to get as many, if not all, the players into the game because of the live stream. Pitch inside for a ball. Runners are at first and third, 1 out. 2 runs have scored here in the top of the third inning. New pitcher Mike Abraham in relief of lefty and starter Adam Mall. And here's a ground base hit in the left field. That ball had eyes. And another run is in. That is the 10th hit. RBI for Brian. And just like that, it is now 9-0 Ventura. First pitch inside. We got a new hitter at the plate. Out of West Hills, California, Tom Hoke. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch. Swing and a miss. He was way out in front of a breaking pitch. Well, even the count at 1-1. 9-0 Dodgers here. Top of the third inning. It's been another long inning here as this one is grounded to the right side. He'll go second one, throw it on the first, not in time. And the fielder's choice will put him at first and third now with 2 out. Two out, and the batter is going to be Abeta, Eric Abeta out of Elk Grove, California. Runners are at first and third, 2 out. Outside. And he missed outside again. So 2 runs in the first, 4 in the second, and 3 more here in the third, and runners occupying the bags at first and third. And a swing and a miss, another breaking pitch. Mike Abraham in relief of Adam Mall here in the third inning. Yeah, you're wondering what the NSEW stands for the connection. That's north, south, east, west, because they have a collection of guys assembling here as this one is lifted in the air to right field, and a nice effort out there, but it falls in for a base hit. 1 run is going to score. Here comes the second run. They held him up. Brad Milner says, hold on. So an RBI hit to right field by Abeta. Scores the 4th run of the inning. Runners are on the corners as Hoke moves to third. Nice line drive hit, and it's now 10-0. I was getting ready to say that the NSEW's north, south, east, west, it's one of those things where they just bring in players from all over the country where, I think most teams don't do that, as this one is looped back at first, and that's going to drop in for a hit, and a run will score, making it 11-0. So a big inning here for the Dodgers. Chad with his first hit of the game. He gets his second RBI. Runners are at first and third once again. And Jerry Whitaker, the scheduled hitter. Whitaker had a double back in the first inning, and that drove in the game's first run. And the pitch is in there for ball one. He had a double, a walk. He's driven in a run. He has also scored a run. Top of the third inning, 11-0 Dodge. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. That's a called strike. So Mike Abraham gets one over. Strike 2 called, and the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jerry Whitaker here in the third. Ventura has put 5 runs up on the board here in the top of the third inning and lead it 11-0. Full count. Bouncing ball to the shortstop. He's got it. He'll have to throw to first, and he's not going to get him. And the run will score. That'll make it 12-0, and that's going to be an error on the shortstop. 6 runs have come across here. And you get a look at Jerry Whitaker, who has found his way on base in each of the 3 at-bats that he has had. John Lane, who has walked and scored, and he has a 3-run double. That's probably the big hit of the game. Maybe your Marucci play of the day so far. Villalobos on deck. Runners are at first and third. 2 down. Top half of the third inning. And he takes low for ball one. Swung on and a long belt and right into that dirt pile out in deep left field, down the left field line. And John Lane definitely had home run distance. As StatCast tells us, that ball left his bat at 95 miles per hour. How about that? As I said, Lane walked and scored in the first, 3-run double in the second. He's looking for more. That ball landed over the dirt pile, and that definitely had home run distance. Change up, hammered to right field, but he'll hold up for the Connections right fielder, and that'll retire the side. But a big inning for the Dodgers and a good, solid, sound lead as we head now to the home half of the third inning. Check that, the bottom half of the third inning, as Ventura leads at 12-0. get our scoreboard corrected here. Thanks for joining us here for this game, as we'd like to welcome all of you from Southern California and those all across the country that might be watching this and cheering on the Connection. I'm Jeff Lowry, and we'll take a quick timeout right now. All right, we head now to the bottom half of inning number 3, a 12-0 Ventura lead. And here's a ball lifted out into left field, and that ball is going to be caught. Well, what a fine catch out there in left field. And there's one down here in the inning. So a spectacular catch in left. Tim Sherman, who's had a nice day at the plate and now makes maybe the play of the day in the field. Scotty Leonard is retired, and here's Jim Nicholson, who gets a start in right field for the Connection. One out here in the home half of the third. And a good take that time by Nicholson. Fernando Pesqueda is on deck, the third baseman for the Connection. Swing and a foul. Yeah, just a beautiful day here at the ballpark. Not a cloud in the sky, 71 degrees. That's too high. 3-1 is the count. Connection trying to put their first base runner on in this contest here in the bottom of the third. And a swing, actually that was strike two. I think it was 2-2. A swing and a miss, and down he goes, and there's two down here in the inning. Now Fernando batting for the first time. Let's see if he can break the ice here against this right-hander who's been tough in this tournament. Rick Pozo pitching for the second time in 4 games. Fastball, slider, curve, changeup, part of his repertoire. And a strike called, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Fernando, I like what he's showing some patience up there, taking his time, not getting too worked up, getting into that batter's box. You got to be patient. You got to look for something good early in the count. And of course, with 2 strikes, you got to be swinging up there if it's close. That's high and away. I think a lot of times that guys go in slumps, and we saw it with Aaron Judge. We saw it with Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs. I mean, dismal numbers. That's grounded hard down the first, but he's got it. And another 1-2-3 inning for Pozo. So we got 3 in the books. Ventura looking pretty good right now, and they lead it by a score of 12-0. We head to the 4th. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Dodgers coming up for the 4th time. And the 2nd inning of work for relief pitcher Mike Abraham. They'll be facing the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. And at this time, the pitcher is heading over to the dugout for some reason. I don't think he's coming out of the game. This might be, I would assume, maybe an equipment adjustment. Connection occupying the first base dugout. Well, here he comes back. Had to get a new glove, apparently. So Mike heads back out to the mound here and getting ready to start the top of the 4th inning. The first 3 innings took better than an hour. We're an hour and 8 minutes into the contest. First pitch is in there for a ball to Will Villalobos. Dodgers got 2 in the first, 4 in the second, 6 more in the third. Low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, I think Chuck Person over there in the first base dugout, the manager of the Connection, would like to get some length out of this right-hander and save his pitching staff for their. They still have 3 games left. They came in 0-2, and they've got 3 games left in this tournament. And unfortunately, Adam Maul goes 2 1/3 innings as the starting pitcher for the Connection. 3 balls to the count on leadoff hitter and cleanup hitter Will Villalobos, who has a 2-for-2 day in the making. Fouls it off, and he'll see a payoff pitch coming up. And I was talking about, the importance of patience. I think, the first thing I think you have to be is a patient and as relaxed as possible when you're digging into that batter's box. Ground ball to the shortstop, and he gobbles it up. Let's see the throw. That's a good throw. Nice defensive play, and there's one down. Jose Gonzalez, nice job out there. As we come back to the batter's box here, and Villalobos retired for the first time in 3 at-bats, and now the next batter is a new hitter, and this was Sonny Campbell, and he gets greeted by Mike Abraham with a hit batsman. So you got a runner at first base and 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Kelly Powell batting for the 3rd time. And he grounds one down to 3rd and under the glove and out into left field, a base hit. So after the first batter retired, runners are at 1st and 2nd. And Powell has been on base all 3 times, reaching on an error and a pair of singles. And here is Brian Ballard. First pitch, and it's a cold strike. The Dodgers with 12 runs on 13 hits. And a ground ball towards the hole. That's out into left field, a base hit. And Brad Milner. Not John Milner. I guess I've been thinking about the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Holds the runner up, and the bases are loaded on the 14th hit of the day, and that is the 2nd hit for Brian. So now Sherman. Sherman had an RBI double his last time up. He's 1 for 2, and he takes a big cut at a breaking pitch. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, and it's 0-1. Bases are loaded. 1 man out. Infield playing in on the corners. And a high chopper to 3rd. That's a foul ball as Fernando gives chase. Two strikes and swinging. High drive in the right field. Medium depth. Catch is made. Here comes the tag. And no throw to the plate. And the Dodgers lead 13-0. Sacrifice fly for Tim Sherman. As he gets the job done. A quality at bat. More importantly for the connection, they got an out on that play, and with 2 down, you got runners at 1st and 3rd. And here is Dwight Browning. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Runners are at first and third. That pitch is taken for a ball, and two out, first and third occupied. Dodgers have scored at least one run in each of the first four innings. That's a swing and a miss. We're talking about being patient, being a little selective early in the count, and we saw with Judge and Ohtani, even the best players in baseball history can have their time. And a lot of times, if you're not relaxed when you step into the batter's box, you're really putting yourself behind the eight ball. That is a called third strike, and that'll retire the side. Outstanding job there. But the Dodgers get another run in the inning. And as we go to the home half of the fourth inning, they lead it by a score of 13-0. This is the MSBL World Series. All right, we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. The connection will send up Tucson native Robert Gomez. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Ventura leads it by a score of 13-0. And that's swung on and fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike on Robert Gomez. Go way back with Robert, probably better than 20 years. He used to have a team back in the early 2000s. Here's the 1-1. And he pops it up. Foul territory, but that was not hit high enough for either the third baseman nor the catcher to come up with a ball. Two strikes on Gomez as he kicks off the bottom half of the fourth inning here for the north-south, east-west connection. And the changeup is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now the next pitch is swung on and missed. So he goes down on strikes to start off the home half of the fourth inning. We've got our mixers locked up here. We'll try to fix this as soon as we get a chance. Now Mike Abraham. There we go. Abraham batting for the first time. And he takes a breaking pitch outside for ball 1. Abraham and then Bob Patterson, the first baseman, will round out the Connections order here in the fourth inning, and then that means everybody's batted for Chuck Person's team, and that one's popped foul and out of play. Pozo on the mound here for the Dodgers. And that's in for a strike, and it's 1-2 strikes. He went back to the high fastball and got the call. And now ahead on the count at 1-2 strikes. That one stays in the dirt. Nice play there by the catcher. Kelly Powell for the Ventura Dodgers, who come in here with a record of 3-0. And the Connection looking for their first win. Here's a line drive out in the center field, and that ball is going to drop in for a hit. Well, that is the first hit of the ball game for the Connection. That'll bring up Bob Patterson, batting for the first time, and he is the final hitter in the lineup here for the Connection. Runner at first. I think Abraham's going to be, I think, lifted for a courtesy runner, and it's the situation. Robert Gomez, the last batted out for North, South, East, West. 1 out, 1 on. And it is all Dodgers here in the bottom of the fourth, 13-0. Behind the pitching of Pozo. And here's a swing and a ball lifted in the air to left field. It drops in, and that'll be a base hit. So they went 3 1/3 innings without a base hit, and now the Connection have delivered with Abraham and Patterson back-to-back. We go back to the top of the order, and James Gass, the left fielder. First and second occupied with 1 out. James, a flyout victim back in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Probably going through the signs. No, actually, I think they're just allowing one of the players to get back to the dugout, who was coaching at first base. First and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2025 Msbl World Series, and Pozo delivers, and it's hit hard down to third base. They'll get the fielder's choice, and that'll be the only out. So now 2 down in the inning, and here is Joe Short. Starting shortstop for the Connection. Well, James really did a nice job. He turned on that pitch. 2 down in the inning. Runners are still at first and third. Short also flied to right field in his first at bat. He's 0 for 1. And a swing and a miss. 0-1 count coming up here. Jose Gonzalez on deck for the Connection. Fastball in there, but maybe a little too high. And a ball and a strike on Joe Short, starting shortstop today. Pitch. Change up, and he's going to call the strike that time. 1-2 strikes with 2 out and 2 on here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The right-hander looks in for the sign, and he delivers. And here's a swing and a ball lifted in the air. Back a second. The shortstop calls. He's got it. And the side is retired. Nice play by Chad Bletcher. And at the end of 4, so far it's all Ventura, 13-0. And you're watching the 2025 Msbl World Series on APN. All right, we head now to inning number 5, and the Dodgers with a nice, comfortable lead here against the Connection in the 50 and over Cactus Division. Strike called. First batter up is Joe Montano, who had a single and a run scored his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Third inning of work for Mike Abraham in relief of the southpaw starter Adam Maul. Chuck Person, the manager, player manager, out of Surprise, Arizona for the Connection. Hit the short. He knocked it down. Can he get him at first? And he does. Fine play, 1 down. Swing and a miss. So here's Brian for the third time. A big walk in that 4-run second inning. That was a pivotal part of the game. He had grounded out, but I don't know. Apparently he must have got a time called as this one's drilled down the line and out of play. You can see all the construction. I guess they're going to have like a little party deck out there. Wind starting to pick up, blowing in from right center field to the left field foul line. Brian had an RBI single his last time up. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Dodgers have scored a run in each of the first 4 frames in this contest, and they lead at 13-0. Chop down the third, Fernando. Long throw to first, can't get him, and the good speed of Slutsky probably factored into that one, and that'll be an infield hit. $15 hits in total now for the Dodgers. They got a runner at first base and 1 out. Tom Hoke was added to the bottom of the order last time up. Hit into a fielder's choice and came around to score. In there for a called strike. Good pitch by Mike Abraham. Mike's actually, I think, pitched fairly well. I mean, a lot of these runs are unearned. Outside a ball, 13 runs, 15 hits for the Dodgers. And the Connection, they got both of their hits in the bottom of the 4th inning. The only 2 hits of the game for them. Hit to the right side. The second baseman fields, goes second 1, and the throw on to first not in time. So the fielder's choice will give the Dodgers their second out. So 2 down. And a swing and a miss. And second time up in the lineup is Eric Abate out of Elk Grove, California. He had an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. Dodgers batting here in the top of the 5th inning. They got a runner at first and 2 down. Connection trying to get their first shutout inning of the ball game. And a squibbler foul up the line, third base side, and let's see if Abraham can get out of this unscathed. So the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, first time those teams have ever met in a postseason. We'll see how that series goes, as this one is slapped to the shortstop, and his only play, that's the third baseman diving in front of him. And really, he had no chance of making that play, and I actually don't think that the shortstop probably would have made that play either. So you got 2 on with 2 out. And we're going to add 77, Donnie Schuler, to the bottom of the order out of Palmdale, California. So you got runners at first and second. We mentioned that Brad Milner, he told me in the dugout before the game, he's really going to try to get everybody in there today, or at least most of the players in there today. Here's the first pitch to Schuler. Did that ball hit him in the helmet? It did. So a hit batsman will put him on first, second, and third. So Schuler heads down to first base. It didn't appear that he was hurt by getting hit in the helmet, but Chuck Person at first base, the manager of the Connection. So now the bases are loaded. Take a look at that one again. See where it caught him. Oh, it just glazed his helmet. First pitch is a called strike. We got a new hitter added to the bottom of the order, and this is going to be Brian Volante. So Brian comes up for the first time. Bases loaded, and he swings and hits a fly ball into left field, and it's off the glove of the left fielder. 2 more runs are going to score, and they will be at second and third. 2 runs in, the Dodgers lead 15-0 here in the inning. So Volante with a 2-run hit to left center field. Dodgers with 17 hits now. And let's see who's coming up now. It's Donnie Brooks. Don Brooks. So Brooks batting here in the top of the 5th inning. 2 runs have scored. And the fastball is a called strike at the letters, and it's 0-1. Strike 2 called on a quality pitch there by Mike Abraham, just painting that outer third. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning. And a line drive caught by the pitcher. Well, he caught that just like he was. I mean, that was a very routine play for him. And the side is retired. 2 more runs come across for the Dodgers. We head to the home half with the Connection coming up to the plate. All right, we go now to the bottom half of the fifth inning, and, well, the Dodgers have really played well here, and Gonzalez will bat first for the connection. His second time up. 2 balls and no strikes. Our APN trivia question inning is among us, and we'll give it to you in a minute. That's a called strike 2-1 on Jose Gonzalez. He'll be followed by Brian Penn and Rodney Lambert. And it's the fifth inning of work for Rick Pozo. He has really thrown a gem. 2 hits, shutout baseball through 4. And our trivia question, can you name the top 5 career home run leaders in not Los Angeles Dodger, but in Dodger history? The top 5 in Dodger history, because we got the Ventura Dodgers here. We go with a Dodger trivia question. And that's low ball 4, so a good way to start an inning. And Gonzalez heads down to first base. Leadoff walk. And now the catcher and cleanup hitter is Brian Penn. Penn is 0 for 1. He popped up to third base back in the second inning. First pitch to him, and the changeup is in there for a called strike. Well, I'll give you a hint that Max Muncy and Matt Kemp are not in the top 5. 1 ball and 1 strike, and neither is, I think, one of the great Dodgers of all time, Steve Garvey, did not crack the top 5. Hammered into left field, and it's going to hold up. Nice job, 1 down. So a nice job on a line shot to left. Brian Penn, StatCast exit velocity off the bat at 91 miles per hour. So that is the first out of the inning here in the 5th. And here's Rodney Lambert. And that's a swing and a miss. Actually, this is not. This is, well, I think they gave me the wrong one. Chicago, Illinois native Rodney Lambert. Been playing in this league for better than 20 years as he fouls that one off. I'm assuming this is Rodney. Brian Penn, who hit the ball hard to left field a moment ago for NESW, is from Houston, Texas. I forgot to mention that. And here's a soft ground ball to the right side. And can they turn the double play? They do, and the side is retired. So a nice job there of turning a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. And we are heading now to the 6th. 15-0 Ventura. We'll be back in just a moment. Jeff Lowry back here from the ballpark. We are heading now to the top half of the sixth inning. It's been all Dodgers so far. They're with the win here. If they can hold on to a 15-0 lead, they'll go to 4 wins and no losses in round-robin play. And we're in the 50 and over Cactus division. Here's Villalobos. Some of the players I think added to the bottom of the order weren't added to the bottom of the order. Instead, they were pinch hitting for Bletcher, Whitaker, and Lane. That's a strike to Will Villalobos. Singled his first 2 times up. Our trivia question: can you name the top 5 all-time Dodger career home run leaders? And can you name them in order? I couldn't do it. Here's a drive to left, and he makes the catch. How about that? That's one of the plays of the day. We'll look at it again here in the top of the 6th inning. As nice as those uniforms are, it is very difficult to see the number. We're zoomed in all the way in on the left fielder. It's just really too difficult. We'll try to get a name with that gentleman who made that play. Here's a high pop-up out in the shallow center field, and this one is going to drop in for a base hit, and the runner will stay at first base. So a boatload of hits here for the Dodgers. I got them down for 18. So a runner at first, and now the batter is Kelly Powell. He's had a 2-for-3 day at the plate. Well, number 5, he was a fan favorite for many years, played on that great Dodger infield that stayed together some 8 seasons in the 70s, early 80s, as this one's lined in the left, and Powell's got a base hit. Nice clean single there as he lines one to left field, and runners are at first and second with 1 out. 2 hits here in the top of the 6th inning. So Kelly Powell, 94 miles per hour off the bat thanks to StatCast. Here's Jimmy Lakin, and he is batting for the first time. As you saw Kelly Powell down there at first base. Takes the pitch, and it's a called strike. He was a third baseman for the Dodgers in the mid to late 70s, early 80s, and he was known as the Penguin. Grounded up the middle, and this ball is going to be fielded by the shortstop. He'll throw on to first, and that will be a double play, and that'll retire the side. So, for the first time, the Dodgers fail to score in an inning, and we are heading now to the bottom half of the 6th inning. 15-0 in the 50 and over Cactus division. This is the Msbl World Series on APN. All right, back here at Goodyear Baseball Park, coming back out for his 6th inning of work, and what a gem. Rick Pozo on the mound. Pozo out of Agoura Hills, California. We are about 2 hours and 20 minutes into this game. As we play here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Nsew is number 5 on the list with 228 home runs. Outstanding third baseman. Now, I grew up a Cincinnati Reds fan. I was not a Dodger fan, but, you know, when I look back, and I can remember putting the transistor radio under my pillow when I was a child and listening to the Reds playing the Dodgers. And I thought I was the only one getting away with it. And, you know, the older you get, the more you hear people. And the gentleman that's to my left here, up here on the concourse, said he did the same thing. Because those games, we were 3 hours ahead of L.A. And, you know, just fond memories. I love the 77, 78 World Series, the Dodgers, Yankees. Those were great baseball memories. And Garvey and Say, Russell, and a guy named Davey Lopes. He was a Superior stolen base guy, and he played second. And that infield was together I think it was 8 years. I might be wrong, but it was. You're not going to see that today. You're not going to see the same infield sticking together like that Los Angeles Dodgers team did. Back in the, I'd say from what, like 73 or 4 to 81, somewhere like that. So we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And I believe this is the man that made that fine play out there in left field. We're waiting for him to turn around so we can see his number. Pitch in there for a called strike. And he lines one up the middle, and that's a base hit. So a good, clean hit there. I'll tell you what, he took that pitch. Pozo is not out there for this inning. It's Sonny Campbell. And this is Scott Leonard. I'll tell you, those numbers are so hard to read. Here's a runner going, line drive, base hit, out into left center field. It'll be first and third as they hold him up at third base. And a clean single by Scott Leonard, so the first two have reached. That's going to bring up Jim Nicholson, the starting right fielder today. Runners are at first and third with nobody out. Swing and a miss. So number 4 on our list as we play here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Runner started to go, and it's grounded just foul third base side. Okay. Kevin Lewis is the runner at third base. Runner goes, and that is strike 3 called on Nicholson. He did not like the call. Stolen base for Scott Leonard. So runners are at second and third. Here's Fernando batting for the second time. Grounded out to first back in inning number 3. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Strike called, 0-1. Now doing the catching behind the plate is Jimmy Lakin out of Clayton, California. I don't know where Clayton, California is. Most of these towns I've been to. Chad Bletcher out of Newberry Park, California. Don Brooks, he's had an at-bat in this game. He's from Colorado. Dwight Browning is a Bronx, New York native. Billy Morris from Irvine, California. Colorado Springs native Joe Montano. And Brian Slutsky is a native right here in Phoenix. That one bounces up there, and a good patient at bat here. Let's see if Fernando can make it happen. He's trying to push across the first 2 runs of the ball game. Runners are at second and third, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And a comebacker to the mound. He'll look back the runner at third, and Campbell throws him out at first base. Nice play, 2 down. Watch it again. Well, Robert Gomez batting for the second time, switch hitter. Changeup is in there for a strike. Runners at second and third with 2 out. We were given a trivia question. The top 5 career home run leaders in Dodger history. Nsew, 228 at number 5. Hammered down the line, but that's out of play. So the count goes to 2 strikes. Number 4 is one of the great catchers of all time, Campanella, Roy Campanella. 242. Number 3 is the all-time LA Dodger home run leader. Any guesses over there from the peanut gallery? I think most people will miss this. Eric Karros is the all-time LA Dodger home run leader, and he's 3rd on the all-time Dodger list. Fouled off. Nice job by Robert. That's what good hitters do. They foul off that tough pitch that you can't really do a whole lot. That was up and in. And then you stay alive. And maybe the next pitch will be right where you want it. 2 strikes and pitching, and it's outside. Good eye by Gomez. So Karros hit 270 home runs with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 2, one of the great fan favorites back in the Brooklyn days. First baseman, 361 bombs, Gil Hodges. High fly ball left field, foul. Well, take nothing away from Lopez here. I'm sorry. Sorry, Robert. Gomez. He is really battling here against Sonny Campbell, who kicks and fires, and that one was thrown behind him. Gil Hodges second on that list, 361. Number 1 is Duke Snider, 389. So there it is. Snider, Hodges, Karros, Campanella, Nsew, and then Garvey 6th. Tucson native Robert Gomez at the plate. And the pitch is strike 3 called, and the side is retired. So a good job by Campbell. Good blazing fastball in the outer half. And we're heading to the 7th. It's all Dodgers. We'll keep it right here. Top of the 7th inning, Jeff Lowry back here from the ballpark, and the Dodgers in command. And One of the good things for the Dodgers is Tim Sherman, who has a sac fly, 2 RBI at bats in this game, including a double and a run scored, is the fact that run differential does play into the playoff scenario. So if you're two teams, let's say you're both 5-1 or 6-0, the league will go to that differential, and that could be the difference between being a 1 seed or, getting a bye into the, I would say like not a quarterfinal, but a semifinal. When you finish round robin, if you can skip a playoff game and get into the semis, and I'm not sure how it's set up in the 50 Cactus, as that one's hammered down the line, and that is a fair ball down into the corner. Well, he hit that ball well, and he is going to stay at second base, and that's a leadoff double for Sherman, who's had a nice game here today. So a leadoff double, and it's worth watching again. StatCast tells us that ball off the bat was estimated at 98 miles an hour. So a leadoff double to start the 7th. And now the batter is Dwight Browning out of the Bronx, New York. Another inning of work for Abraham. 4th inning of work for Abraham. Runner at second with nobody out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, and that's got eyes. It's going to go out in the center field, and they'll just go station to station. So a clean single up the middle, a hard ground ball. And now you got runners at first and third, nobody out. So the next batter is going to be Joe Montano. He has a single and a run scored. I don't know if they courtesy run for him or not, but that slot in the lineup, he had a 3rd inning base hit, 4th inning base hit. And he lines one over the shortstop's head out into left center field. The throw to second is not in time, and that's a base hit. That's a run-producing base hit for Montano. And just like that, it is now 16-0 in favor of the Dodgers. A good line drive single to left field. Dodgers, I believe, are down like 6 or 7 runs in that run differential. So, if they seem like they're kind of piling it on here, I think it's just for the playoff scenario. Though, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed feelings on run differential. And it's situations like this why I kind of don't like it, because of the fact that, you maybe you're facing a pitcher that's, tired. Maybe they're saving. The team you're going up against is saving their best pitchers, as this one is grounded up the middle, and this one's going to find center field, and the bases are loaded. Still nobody out. I almost prefer to go, if you're talking about a playoff tiebreaker, I think I almost would like to do the runs allowed. Then kind of forces you to play good, try to play better defense. And And that way you're not running up the score. I don't know. I think I'd go runs allowed. But that's just me. Here's a ball hit to the right side. Can they get a couple here? They get the fielder's choice. And the run is in, and it's 17-0. So with the fielder's choice, another run comes in. And this is a Beta again. Runners are at first and third. And a ground ball and knocked down by the first baseman. No one was covering the bag, and all hands are safe. And another run is in. Well, a fine job by the first baseman getting to that ball. So the run comes in, and it is now 18-0 Ventura. Next up for the Dodgers, batting for the second time, is Donnie Schuler. He was hit by a pitch. Remember, he got hit in the helmet, popped up, catcher. Can he get there? He does, but unable to make the play. And in his defense, that ball really wasn't hit all that high. So that's a tough play, even for a major leaguer to get all that gear off your head and then look up into this high sky, and it just really wasn't hit all that hard. Or that high, I should say, and it was a tough play. So Schuler up there. Yeah, he turned his head, and it just grazed his helmet. He didn't get hurt. And he got jammed on that one. Slow roller third base side, foul ball. Let's see if Schuler can keep this three-run inning going. That one's taken low for a ball. Dodgers with a nice lead here in the top of the seventh. This will probably, well, it may not be the final inning. Grounded hard down to third. Fernando knocked it down, tags the runner, and a nice job. Sorry about that. So there's two down here in the inning. 3 runs have come across. First pitch, ball one. And the second time up for Brian Volante out of Houston, Texas. And hit up the middle. This one knocked down by the second baseman, and they get the fielder's choice. That will retire the side. But 3 more runs come across. Connections need to score a few here to extend this 50 and over Cactus Division game. So the third pitcher used here today by Brad Milner from Goodyear Baseball Park in the 2025 MSBL World Series. It's going to be Brian Ballard. He is in relief of right-hander Sonny Campbell. Pozo, who was sensational through the first 5 innings of this game, 2-hit shutout baseball. So Brian Ballard, the third pitcher used here today as he takes his warm-ups. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, I've just been told that when determining playoffs, the runs allowed is what they go by. I thought that's what it was. Then I was told earlier that it was a run differential, and I think we just got our signals crossed up as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. And the connection. Yeah, let's see, 23 is Curtis Losh out of Mesa, Arizona. And he hits the second pitch and a easy ground ball down to first base, and there's one down as Schuler takes it to the bag. So 1 up and 1 down for the connection here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The current time is 10:43, so we have played 2 hours and 45 minutes. Adam Mall, the Scottsdale native, who's been playing in this league for a while and since 1997, and he hits a ground ball to first, and there's 2 down. Well, if they can't come up with 4 runs here, the ball game will be over. Bob Patterson out of Burlington, North Carolina. He's been playing since 2007 in this MSBL World Series tournament. Most of these guys have been coming out here for a long time. Robert Gomez, 1993. I think he might be the longest. As that one is fouled off. And we still have, I think, 5 people, 5 or 6. Steve Lamonia, who's one of the guys that help run this league, and said he was still verifying how many was left. Here's the pitch, and a pop foul, and it's going to be in the seats. So 2 strikes. On Curtis. And a little chopper out in front of the plate, and this should do it. And the throw on to first is in time. Bob Patterson. And that should be the ball game. So the Dodgers, impressive, winning it 18-0 behind the 2-hit shutout pitching through the first 5 innings by Rick Pozo. And obviously some timely hitting. Special thanks to Brad Milner and Chuck Person for setting up today's broadcast. We hope you enjoyed it. The Dodgers go to 4-0 with their 18-0 victory here today. The Connection have 3 games left, and let's see what they can do. We wish both teams the best of luck the rest of the way. And don't forget to book your championship game if it's not on a Saturday. So anyway, this is Jeff Lowry saying so long, everybody, from Goodyear.